And the broadcast day continues here at SDH. It is time for the round of 32 Watchalong, where we get to figure out the magic of the Open Cup. And we are probably going to be joined by some guests as we go. And we will see how everything lays out here. And we will see who is playing what, where, and when. We know how everybody is laid out. We know this. The groups came out earlier this morning, and it is now 4x8. You introduce the USL Championship sides, and you introduce the Major League Soccer side. So 16 survivors. You add the 16 coming in, USL Championship and Major League Soccer. And we now get to see who goes where, who's lined up with whom, and what the round of 32 looks like. You go 32, 16. So they're not calling it the fourth round. It's now officially the round of 32. Groups came out this morning, and here's how it is. Here's how the groups were all laid out, decided, and otherwise determined. And so now it's time for David Applegate and all of our friends here involving the U.S. Open Cup to figure out what's going on. 32 teams were divided geographically where possible. 8 groups of 4. Each third-round winner must be paired against a newly entering team. That's the bylaws. Newly entering teams have to be paired with a winner from yesterday and or Tuesday. So the draw groups. The Alonzo Division has Atlanta United, Charleston Battery, South Georgia Tormenta, and Charlotte Independence. So Atlanta has to be paired with either Tormenta or Charlotte, as an example. And Charleston has to be paired with Tormenta or Independence, once again, as an example, because Tormenta and Charlotte cannot play each other since they are both winners from the last round and they are venturing in. The Gonsalves Division, the first teams drawn from each group will host. Remaining sides drawn as away teams paired against eligible home teams. So that's the draw procedure as we go. The Gonsalves Division, FC Dallas, Tampa Bay, Legion, and Memphis 901. Hockley Nolan, Sporting Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Tulsa, and Union Omaha. The Latu Division, Seattle, Phoenix, Lou City, North Carolina. So 2 West and 2 East. Lopez, San Jose, Sacramento, Oakland Roots, Monterey Bay. Mark, LAFC, Orange County, Vegas Lights, and Loudoun. Onstad, Houston, San Antonio, Detroit City, and Indy 11. Watson, RSL, Colorado Springs, New Mexico United, and NYC FC2. So for the most part, you got folks that are close together. There are some instances where they're not. First name pulled is Charleston. So Charleston is your first home team. Next envelope is Atlanta United. So Atlanta United will host. They're going to. I think they draw again later, Turner. So Harry, Charleston would host Atlanta in the round of 16 if they advance. Charlotte, I believe that's correct, Harry. Where you go since first was first. So A2, Atlanta and Charlotte. And so South Georgia Tormenta is paired with the Charleston Battery. Home teams Charleston and Atlanta United. Away teams Tormenta and Charlotte. So we waste no time. Wasting no time. So Atlanta United and Charlotte. And since Charleston was given the first home, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm interpreting it correctly, Harry, then Charleston would host Atlanta United. So that's where we are with this particular group anyway. So Charleston, South Georgia, Atlanta, and Charlotte, May 7 and 8. Round of 16, May 21 and 22. So if Tormenta gets the upset, Atlanta would host Tormenta. So that's what you're staring at out of the Alonzo division. Out of the blocks, wasting zero time. We're just going to go straight to the Alonzo division. Bang. So Turner, Charleston hosting Atlanta worked out well last time. The Gonsalves division. Man, we are wasting no time. They're trying to get this done in like a half hour or something. FC Dallas, Tampa, Birmingham, and Memphis. And so once again, you're looking at all of this, and we're seeing the lay of the land. First envelope pulled in the Gonsalves division is Memphis 901. And they go to the A2 slot. Next envelope pulled goes to Tampa Bay. So Tampa goes into H1. So Memphis goes on the road to the home site. Birmingham Legion goes into H2. So no real, so goes into, sorry, now we had a quick switch. So Birmingham, because you can't play two USL championship teams together who won in the last round. So Tampa Bay, Birmingham, and for the sake of argument and laying things out, it's FC Dallas. So Tampa Bay, Birmingham, FC Dallas, Memphis 901. That's the Gonsalves division. So Birmingham travels to Al Lang. Memphis 901 travels to FC Dallas. So that's the Gonsalves division. Once again, May 7 and 8, Birmingham to Tampa, Memphis 901 to FC Dallas. And everything goes toward the H1. So Atlanta United in the Alonzo in the H2 slot hosting Charlotte. Tormenta goes to Charleston. If the two home sides win, and the Alonzo Atlanta United goes to Charleston. Everything goes toward the one slot, unless the team in the one slot says that they cannot host. Gonsalves division, Birmingham at Tampa. Memphis 901 at FCD. I'm kind of keeping an eye on things off to my left here as we go. Hakala Nolan. Sporting, Pittsburgh, Tulsa, Union, Omaha. So this is one of those where you had, where possible, when it came to all of the elements that are attached. Once again, you cannot have two winners from the previous round play each other in this round out of the blocks. Somebody new has to play somebody old in the tournament. So you're looking at the envelopes being pulled now in Watchalong. First envelope is Union Omaha. So Union Omaha is an H1. So everything in the Watchalong heads in that direction. Pittsburgh is the second envelope pulled. So Pittsburgh is the other host. But everything drifts toward Union Omaha as the H1 here. Now, Union Omaha and Sporting Kansas City. Sporting Kansas City goes into the A1. And so then obviously that means that the final envelope, once it is opened, is FC Tulsa, and FC Tulsa gets the road trip. Sporting at Union Omaha. I'm guessing Warner Park in Papillon, Nebraska. And FC Tulsa goes to Highmark to take on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Once again, everything feeds north. So SKC on the road, as Harry says, SKC on the road for both matches at Omaha to start. So as the A1, if chalk holds. Now, the only way, if I'm interpreting this correctly, the only way that SKC could host is if both Union Omaha and Pittsburgh lose. And then it would be FC Tulsa at Sporting Kansas City. So Sporting goes to Union Omaha. Pittsburgh hosts FC Tulsa. And since Tulsa cannot host, the Latu division, Seattle, Phoenix, Lou City, North Carolina. So you're going to have some folks who are spending some money here, one way or the other. Seattle, Phoenix, Lou City, North Carolina in the Latu. So let's see what the envelopes are pulled here. First envelope, Seattle. So Seattle hosts. Everything feeds to Seattle in the Latu. Second envelope pulled. I don't get to hear the pulling of the tape. North Carolina FC. So North Carolina FC said they were. So they are the H2. So this means Phoenix sticks to Seattle. Or no, they get shifted. I get shifted because it's two new opponents. So so Phoenix gets shifted over to North Carolina, since North Carolina beat Core, and Lou City, Seattle, Phoenix at North Carolina FC. Yeah, Danny Cruz will be motivated for that one for sure. So Lou City at Seattle, Phoenix at North Carolina FC. That is the Latu division. So we're halfway home. Recapping in the Alonzo, Tormenta at Charleston, Charlotte at Atlanta United. Everything feeds to Charleston as the H1. Gonsalves, Birmingham at Tampa, Memphis 901 at FCD. So everything feeds to Al Lang. Hockley Nolan, Union Omaha, SKC, Pittsburgh, FC Tulsa cannot host. So Sporting to Union Omaha, FC Tulsa to Pittsburgh. So FC Tulsa gets a road trip, and they can't host if they were to win. In the Latu, Lou City at Seattle, North Carolina FC, and Phoenix. And once again, there were some of these divisions that had, like, one team was an outlier. This one was East and West. And so folks are traveling. In the Lopez, it is San Jose, Sacramento, Roots, and Monterey Bay. So this one is an economically feasible division. And once again, folks who this one will be a fun one on a couple of different levels. Because of the possibilities that are here. But once again, new folks got to play new folks. All right, new folks can't play each other, and so you're going to have some crossover. So looking at the Lopez, Harry's like, Sacramento should be the favorite to get out of the group even with San Jose. At this point, yeah, the way that San Jose is playing, you ain't kidding. It's going to be, oh, wow. All right, so let's see. The H1, everything feeds through Sacramento. Okay. Everything feeds through Sacramento in the Lopez division. Heart Health is going to be a very busy place. San Jose is the other one, but once again, everything feeding through Sacramento. San Jose is your second home designation. A1 is Oakland Roots. So Oakland cannot play Sacramento because of the designation. So Oakland goes to San Jose and Monterey Bay and Sacramento, but everything feeds through Sacramento here. Sacramento Republic, Monterey Bay, San Jose, and Oakland. But everything feeding through Sacramento and the Lopez. Monterey Bay at Sacramento Republic, Oakland Roots at San Jose. That's what the Lopez looks like. 5 divisions down, 3 to go. And like I said, we are efforting guests, and I believe that once the groups are completed, I know that in discussions with one guest in particular. So we'll see what happens. 5 divisions down, 3 to go. 6th division up and running is the mark. And you know that Loudon is cursing the ground that they walk on. LAFC, Orange County, Vegas Lights, and Loudon. So LAFC is new. Orange County is new. Vegas Lights, after beating Spokane Velocity. Loudon, after beating Richmond. So we know who can't go up against each other. At least to start. Vegas Lights. Vegas Lights said they're hosting. Cashman, maybe, who knows? We'll see. But Vegas said. Orange County is your second home. So Championship Stadium in Irvine, California. LAFC is your first away side. Which means that Loudoun travels to Irvine. At least they get an airport. So Loudoun goes to Orange County. And they'll be flying into Irvine. Yep. Joey Bats hosting LAFC. You think Joey Bats will throw? You might throw a bat or something? All right. So, Harry, you were confused on why Oakland could not play Sacramento, but Monterey Bay could. So, Oakland, because they're both new. I think that's because I think they're both. This is both of their first rounds, and you can't have two new teams playing each other. I think that's the way that this works. You can't have two new teams playing each other. So I think that's why you end up with the breakup the way and Sac was seeded. So Monterey Bay has played. Sacramento, San Jose is in. That's right. Oakland and Monterey Bay played round 2. Okay. I'm just as confused as you are now. But right now, Monterey Bay, Sacramento, Oakland, and San Jose. Okay. Sac was seeded, and Oakland and Monterey Bay played round 2. Okay. So it will be Cashman. Onstad division, 7 of 8. Houston, San Antonio, Detroit City, and Indy 11. So Houston is new. San Antonio is new. Indy 11, they won at Chicago Fire 2 last night. And Detroit City beat Michigan Stars. So Indy 11, home number 1. So everything goes through the mic unless they go to another venue. Second envelope, Houston. So the Dynamo are your second home team in the Onstad division. I find irony there. So that leaves us with Detroit City, and they are the next envelope pulled. But you can't have Detroit City and Indy 11 play because they won in the last round. So Detroit City goes to play Houston, and San Antonio goes to Indy. San Antonio at Indy 11. Detroit City goes to Houston. So there's going to be some travel here with the crossovers. So that's 7 divisions out of 8. We have one more division to go. It's the Watson. And in the Watson, it will end up being the last 4 on the board. So, of course, in trying to get everything laid out. Where's my groupings? Okay, so the final division is the Watson. RSL, Colorado Springs, New Mexico United, and NYC. RSL is new. Switchbacks are new. New Mexico United beat Lubbock Matadors. NYC FC2 beat Hartford. So we know who can't play each other. And Houston, okay, so Houston can't host round of 16. So Indy and San Antonio would host the winner of Houston and Detroit, since Houston can't host the round of 16. So the winner of this one hosts round of 16 in the Onstat. All right, so the Watson division is the one that's left on the board. Once again, the two new teams can't play each other, and the ones that won. So NYCFC 2 got the first envelope, and they ain't hosting. I don't think they are. They are. Okay. Wow. All right. NYCFC 2. And it makes you wonder where they're going to play. Second home envelope is New Mexico United. So NYCFC, let me guess, they're going to try to play it at like Yankee Stadium or Citi Field, or they're going to play it at St. John's. Colorado Springs. Some travel for the switchbacks, traveling to pick an airport. And so then by process of elimination, then that means that the fourth envelope in this group is RSL. So RSL, wow. So RSL gets the fourth envelope. New Mexico United hosting RSL, and the switchbacks have to go to NYCFC 2, and they're going to probably play at St. John's. Unless they go for the bigger payday. Wow. That is So there you go. That's your 8. That's your 8. All right, so let's run through them one more time. The Watson division. Colorado Springs at NYCFC 2. Good luck on that one. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how that one's laid out. So in the Alonzo, once again, we'll run through the 8. Any questions, any spiciness, anything like that, and we do have a guest scheduled to drop by to lay things out. Alonzo, Charleston, Tormenta, Atlanta United, and Charlotte. So in the division, everything is going to feed to that first team that we mention each and every time. So everything feeds through Charleston. Tormenta at Charleston. Charlotte at Atlanta United. And the winners, once again, everything feeds toward Charlotte. So if Tormenta gets the upset, then it would be Tormenta at Atlanta United. Gonzalez, Tampa Bay, Birmingham, FCD, Memphis 901. Birmingham goes to Tampa to play Tampa Bay. Memphis 901 goes to Dallas to take on FCD. Hockala Nolan, Union Omaha, SKC, Pittsburgh, FC Tulsa. Tulsa cannot host. Sporting Kansas City to Union Omaha. FC Tulsa to Pittsburgh, and once again, everything feeds to the top. Latu, Seattle, Lou City in North Carolina FC in Phoenix. Lou City to Seattle, and it is Phoenix Rising to North Carolina FC. Halfway through the divisions, and it is time where we bring in our guest who was watching with his particular club in the Alonzo division, and we now know what's going on. Darren Van Tassel, of everything Tormenta. Darren, you know where you're going.
Well, I hope you can hear me. We got a big crowd. We're at the Miami airport, so that you get cutting, insightful information from the club. Listen, we're happy to be playing, thrilled to be playing. Really, the top class team in the USL, so we got our hands full. And if I've understood those brackets right, the winner of our match with the Battery will host the winner of Atlanta United and the Independents. So here we go. It's Open Cup drama season.
Yep. So let's roll through what happened last night, and we talked about the magic of the cup, and the matchup against the Miami FC had its batches of crazy, and it was certainly out there for you guys. And it took a while, but you ended up getting the Duke. It was a wild one last night.
Yeah, it was a wild one, and it's fun stuff. We caused some of our own problems. We were down 2-1 at the half after being up a man. We caused that problem, but showed some resilience. The guys fixed it, and we got ourselves out of it. And I think that's our last. Listen, when you're in League One, you keep up with these kind of stats. That's 4 games in a row where we've beaten the championship club, and we're going to hang our hat on it. But quite frankly, the guys, you're at this point, everybody would like to play an MLS team. So while we're not disappointed playing the Battery, we're going to have our hands full there. We played against them in preseason, and as I said earlier, they're top class. But we got to quickly turn our attention to Sunday. We've got Greenville at home, but this is the fun part of pro sports.
You get to balance all this stuff together. So when it comes to balancing, and it is a delicate balancing act for not just Ian Cameron and the players, but for the administration and everybody trying to get everything orchestrated to make sure you're all at 100% each and every time out. How challenging is this time of year, even though it is a fun challenge? How challenging is it for organizations juggling multiple competitions?
Well, I think it was, there's just a little obvious insight piece. We had 2 different press releases ready to go. If we were going to be home, we had a whole ticketing platform ready to be go, depending on who we were going to play at home. Clearly, if you have Atlanta United at home versus one of our fellow USL teams, those are just different pieces, and we had to have all those things set, ready to go, and decide which buttons were being pushed. Thank you.
Oh, this is what happens when Darren's at an airport. Probably went into a particular part of the airport where he is surrounded by concrete. But now Darren Van Tassel hanging out with us here, breaking everything down with Tormenta and Charleston and Charlotte and Atlanta United. And it will be really interesting to see in a couple of weeks' time how everything balances out with South Georgia Tormenta and with Charleston. All these clubs, frankly, when it comes to what you're looking at with all of these, all these organizations trying to make sure that they are, as balanced and I mean that in the sense of you've got to make sure that you are ready to go in any direction, but that matchups are coming up. And so for Ian Cameron and the staff, and we'll catch up with Ian tomorrow before Soccer's in session on tape, and we'll find out what's going on with Ian through his mind and the balancing act of all of these kinds of things, making sure that you look at your lineups, you're talking to your physios, you're making sure that all of this is headed in the right direction. So you're monitoring minutes and you're making sure that in those competition weeks, getting ready for May 7 and 8, that you are in as good a shape as humanly possible. And so where in the airport are you? Did you go through concrete?
Yeah, we like to keep things secure as a nation. And when you pass through certain areas, cell phones must not work very well. Now I know.
I was discussing the idea of the juggling act and for Ian, and we're going to catch up with Ian before noon tomorrow, where you go back into League One play, you know what you're doing for the next couple of weeks. But now you've got to monitor folks and make sure that you're in contact with the physios and everything is there so that you're ready to go when it comes to this. And so you're looking at minutes, you're looking at League One play, all of this to make sure that when this matchup happens against Charleston Battery, whom you're playing, I think, for the 723rd time in franchise history, that you're ready for this one. and you're still as competitive as you have been in League One, not jeopardizing one for the other and being equally competitive in both.
Yeah, that's the challenge. And I think it's, whether it's playoffs in any sport, this is a playoff inside of a regular season. So
Yes.
presents some unique challenges there. And you build a squad with that in mind in an off season, and we do it. Fitness and being able to do all those things are going to be part of any team's ability to win it. But listen, I think for the Atlanta Braves to win the World Series this year, they need to stay healthy too. That's sort of all of our prescriptions that are in place. But now our attention gets to go to Greenville, but for Sunday. But the Open Cup is, listen, it's, when you're winning, the Open Cup can be magical for anyone else. When you get eliminated, I think everyone's default is to say, well, okay, well, we're moving on. We've got bigger things to do, but that is certainly not our attitude here. We got to do both.
Yep. And so you are definitely looking on to that. When's your flight, by the way?
We are leaving here in about 22 minutes. So they have called boarding. I think that's what got me in trouble earlier when I got kicked off. Half of them are on the plane now.
Well, and you need to
We'll
be
fly nonstop back to Savannah.
there. You go. So get on the plane. Stop talking to me because I don't want you to be left behind. Because I know that other folks in the administration there with Tormenta might be upset if you miss a plane because you're doing a media interview.
Yeah. Cheers, John.
Be good. There goes Darren. So it's great to have Darren as a part of things, and great to be able to catch up with Darren before he catches up on a plane, and he gets safely back to Savannah, and then they safely get back to Statesboro because they've got to get ready for USL League One, and that's what they're doing for the next couple of weeks when it comes to USL League One. And they got stuff that they got to take care of. So there goes Darren. Darren's hopping on a plane, and it was great to be able to catch up with him. So that's how it's all laid out, and everything feeds to the north. Alonzo, we mentioned the first four. The Lopez, Sacramento Republic, Monterey Bay, San Jose, and Oakland. Monterey Bay at Sacramento, Oakland at San Jose. In the mark, LAFC at Vegas. I wonder if that's going to be at Cashman. Loudoun United gets to travel to Orange County. I know they're thrilled. Onstad, Indy, and San Antonio. As Harry was letting us know, the winner of Indy and San Antonio would host Houston and Detroit, since Houston cannot host the round of 16. So the winner of that one goes San Antonio at Indy, and that's going to be a tough one at the mic. And then Detroit City is at Houston. Then on the Watson, NYCFC2, who is in the home one space, gets to host Colorado Springs. And New Mexico United is going to be hosting RSL. So it's going to be fun. And so there you go. 7th and 8th, round of 32, 8 and 8 on each day. And we will discuss it again tomorrow. So thanks to Darren Van Tassel before he hopped on a plane. So he could hop on a plane and stop talking to us. So you got the Tormenta perspective out of the Alonzo division. Tormenta heading to Charleston. And the Charlotte Independents will be going up against Atlanta United. And odds are that this one is going to be at the Fraction. And so we will keep an eye on that one once again. 7th and 8th for the round of 32. And it will be, once again, the fun continues when it comes to the Open Cup. We are now at the round of 32. It's not the fourth round, but it is now the round of 32 where we are when it comes to U.S. Open Cup. And so that is that's what we're up and around about. And so we'll try and figure out what's going on as we go. But there it is. You got your 32 teams. NYCFC2 getting to host. I think they're moving it to St. John's. I want to know where else they're moving it to, what else they're considering here for the round of 32 with Colorado Springs coming to town. We'll be back at it again tomorrow, 9:05. And after the show at 9:05, it will be tomorrow getting you ready for the weekend. Our friends from Beyond Goals at 9:30. And we will do the weekend whip around patent pending trademark coming sooner, hopefully, rather than later. That one is at 10 o'clock. Get you ready. All the divisions, all the games, all the juice boxes, all the stuff. So busy weekend coming up. Atlanta United on Atlanta United is on Saturday. That's the day of the week that it is. And then on Atlanta United 2 is on Sunday against FC Cincinnati 2. That's on the network at 3 o'clock, 2:30 pregame, 3:03 kick with Jason on the play-by-play. Maddie and I are doing the pregame. And if you're in and around Reverb by Hard Rock on Friday night, you can come and catch up with us. It's going to be up at the rooftop bar at Reverb by Hard Rock. You get to hang out with us. We're going to talk FC Cincinnati. We're going to talk about what's going on so far with the season. And shout out to all the supporters groups. Make sure everybody comes to Reverb by Hard Rock for the pre-FC Cincinnati gathering, get-together, and discussion for a Friday. So Friday, it is Reverb. Saturday, it is at Mercedes-Benz. Sunday, it's at the Fraction for the twos for FC Cincinnati and Atlanta United. We'll be back at it again tomorrow, 9:05. End of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. You got your draw. You have your assignments. It's going to be another sprint. We got another couple of weeks to kind of digest it going forward. But back at it again, 9:05. Thanks again to all of you guys for hanging out. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning.